Today we will talk on leadership qualities and also will give some references of the leadership of Lord Krishna. Great leaders have a charismatic personality. We know that personality is made. Personality is the outcome of practice. Personality gets developed from the education, what we take in the institutions or universities or otherwise. Personality develops with experience and maturity, and many other factors are also there. But main important is that personality attracts others. Remember, charismatic personality is the outcome of all above, and above all, it is a gift from the God or Him or nature or whatever you call it. And Lord Krishna had charismatic personality, as you all know that from childhood he attracted many, and it's not only the human beings, but he attracted even birds, animals, and so on. Great leaders protect their followers and friends. Great leaders attract the followers and protect them, even if they sometimes go against their wishes. Great leaders are always available to their followers and friends. Therefore, we should learn that we should never leave the followers and friends if we want to be a leader, and always be with them, particularly in crisis. And then, with example that Krishna protected his friends during his childhood, we know from many asurs or rakshas, he protected his friends. He also protected citizens of Mathura from Jarasandha, though he was not the king. And thereafter, he protected Pandavas, as we all know. He protected Arjuna on many occasions, including the day when he took oath to slay Jayadratha before sunset, and if not, then he vowed for self-immolation during Mahabharata war. Then great leaders act from the front. There are many instances when you get time to lead. Lead from the front is important for being the leader, even if it appears difficult or tough. Leading from the front means almost half the battle is won before the followers and even before the opponent. Balance depends upon your opponent and your followers and yourself. Great leaders always assess the strength of the opponent and act accordingly with the preparation. Problem never get solved if not tackled from the front. Therefore, good leaders should lead them from the front for the leadership. Krishna saved his friends from many asurs and kings, but after assessing the strength and weakness of the opponents, and always succeeded. Then great leaders always adopt a pre-planned strategy. So it is important that for the leadership, leaders should develop the practice of planning the strategy, and they should have different strategies for different people, different incidents, and different situations, because strategies cannot be same for all the situations, for all the people, or for all the incidents. Strategies include all the activities like planning, execution, monitoring, and action on failure, even if any. And then we know that Lord Brahma hid village boys and cattle to test Krishna. Krishna did not confront Lord Brahma directly, but he created as many as village boys and cattle, and they went to their homes and nobody knew what happened. Therefore, he didn't confront directly with Lord Brahma, though he confronted with all the asurs who attacked him. So he had different strategies for the asurs and Lord Brahma. Great leaders give credit of success to the deserved ones, and if followers are there, then certainly to them. And they though do not take the credit of success themselves, but it automatically comes to them being their leaders. Giving credit to others means getting more than double. And we know that as Govardhan was source of their livelihood in Vrindavan, then Krishna gave him the credit of worship. And even if Indra was furious and he did whatever he wanted to damage the people of the Vrindavan, but he could not damage and he could not destroy them, and then Krishna helped. So ultimately Krishna gave the credit to Govardhan because he was the source of their livelihood for the worship. Great leaders have no fear and fight in adverse conditions also. Great leaders do not have fear of any conditions or incidents or even at death. They fight in adverse conditions and overcome them. In fact, if we want to say, then fear is afraid of great leaders. We know when Indra god became angry with villagers and started stormy and incessant rains to devastate the village, he was not afraid of anything. Krishna had no fear, and then he protected everybody. Then great leaders are courageous and show courage at different times, particularly when it is required. So they show their courage at appropriate times and attract the followers. Great leaders do courageous work when needed. For them, courage is not so alone. Krishna went to Yamuna when Kaliya was residing there and lived there, and nobody dared to go inside Yamuna. So then after going there, he defeated Kaliya and forced him to leave the place for protection of his followers, which showed his courage, and he was famous. Great leaders love to all, that is another quality, and do not make differentiation based on caste, creed, religion, and so on. So basic philosophy is that love to human beings, animals, nature, and birds to become the leader. Krishna loved to elders, friends, younger ones without differentiating in caste, creed, or gender. He even loved to animals, birds, even non-living things like Govardhan Parvat. Great leaders believe in teamwork. Great leaders believed in teamwork and work as a team member on all the occasions. So we should work in a team like a team member or not like the boss. Krishna always worked as a member of the team with his friends during all occasions, like whether he was working, he was playing, or during any trouble or dancing or happiness, and never posed himself as a leader, though he was an undisputed leader of the villagers even at the age of 8 years. Followers will make you leader, but you should not project as you are the boss, but behave like a team member. Great leaders are always leaders. Great leaders, they are leaders at all the places, at all the times. So important is that you should show your leadership to solve the issues at all times with positivity, and more so in adverse situations and in crisis. Even after knowing Kansa's intention, Krishna went to Mathura, made public in his favor in one evening. He snatched and distributed royal dresses among his followers, gave therapy to Kubza, a hunchbacked woman, converting her into a beautiful one, and broke bow which was meant for the ceremony, and he showed his strength, making public in his favor and creating terror in his opponent's mind even before the incidents. Great leaders are always attached to common people and know ground reality. Great leaders always keep attached themselves with ground situations and remain in contact with common people, so they are aware of everything what is going on the ground. So important is we should keep attached to others, particularly common people, to get ground information. Krishna made survey of the site when Kansa was organizing ceremony to know the ground reality and situation. He went one day ahead and was aware of the opponent's plan before he was attacked next day. Great leaders like to work in democratic manner, and they take advice from others and work as per wishes of the masses. So we should take decisions after getting on the nerves of the people or the fellow people. After killing Kans, Krishna freed his parents and Ugrasen, then asked public about the choice of the king of Mathura after Kans, and made Ugrasen as the king of Mathura, though he won Kans, but he made Ugrasen as the king as per the wishes of the public. Great leaders are always intelligent. You see, they are very intelligent and knowledgeable irrespective of formal education they have taken or not. And they have so much intelligence that they can immediately grasp whatever is told to them. So they possess intelligence and knowledge more than the formal education. Krishna completed his formal education just in 64 days in Sandipani ashram. Great leaders set the examples. Great leaders, they set the examples in every possible field. They show the friendship and do overlook small incidences affecting the relations. So we should never look to small incidences which adversely affect our relations. Overlook them. You may possess the leadership qualities, but your friend may not. Sudama, a friend of Krishna, denied having chickpeas during stormy night when they were stuck in the jungle. Krishna never told him that he knew of his eating chickpeas and not sharing. Still, he treated Sudama as a best friend, ensured his dignity and self-respect, simultaneously provided help to his family without disclosing it. Great leaders work for the welfare of the masses even at their cost. Great leaders work for the welfare of the masses even if temporarily or permanently affect their own images as they work for them. They remain great even though their image may get spoiled for short term, but due to their decisions in the interest of masses, that may not be liked or understood by the masses at the time, but in future or in long term they are always famous. So we should work for the welfare of others if we want to be the leaders. We know Jarasandha attacked Mathura 17 times, and to ease the suffering of citizens, Krishna left Mathura and took blame of calling Ran Chhod. Great leaders unfold the truth. Great leaders unfold the truth, and they are with the truth so that truth prevails. So we should follow the path of trueness and truth. We know King Pondarik got stitched 2 extra arms and wore accessories like Lord Vishnu. Then he challenged Krishna with the belief that Krishna will not dare to fight with him, but Krishna fought with him and revealed the truth by removing his stitched arms. Great leaders respect individuals and their commitments. So, great leaders respect it and of the respect individuals as well as masses both, and respect their commitments. For being leader, we should respect others for leadership qualities. Krishna married Rukmani as she loved him, though his brother Rukmi was opposed to it, but spared Rukmi after win over him on the advice of Rukmani. Great leaders believe in making personal relations. Great leaders make more and more relations and personal, particularly with those who matter most. So important is that for being a leader, we should make more and more relations. It will pay one day. Krishna married to Jamvati, daughter of Jamvan, Satyabhama, daughter of Satyajit, as they approached for the relations. Krishna also married to Kalindi, Mitravindra and Bhadra as they loved him. He married Nagnajiti and Lakshmana in Swayamvar and thus had family relations with many kingdoms. Great leaders provide patronage to the destitute. They come forward and provide patronage if they may become infamous for short term, even if. So, learning is that we should not work for short term gains, but should think for long term gains. We know Bhaumasur had abducted about 16,100 girls, and on freeing them, no one wanted to marry or accept them. Krishna married them to give them patronage. Great leaders always support justice. So they do not get carried away with the powerful or with the power. They always are with the justice. Always support justice and take the side who support it. Shortly people will be with you. We know in the Swayamvar of Draupadi, when no prince could target the fish, Arjun, dressed as Brahman, succeeded. On this, princes present they tried to make objections on Arjun and were against him. Krishna supported Arjun and told that he was with him and will fight in his favor, as he made efforts only after others failed. Great leaders are visionary and foresee the problems in advance. To become leader, we should guide to our friends and followers. We know Yudhishthir wanted to organize Rajasuya Yagya. Krishna foresaw the problem and asked him to defeat first to Jarasandha. He took Arjun and Bhim as he knew that they could fight with Jarasandha and not the Yudhishthir, Nakul or Sahadev, and then provoked Jarasandha for the fight. Krishna knew his weakness and shared it with Bhim, who eliminated him, paving the way for the success of Yudhishthira. Krishna advised Pandava to pray sun god to get magical vessel to satiate their hunger so that they can remain fit to fight in future. Great leaders know the difference between forgiveness and self-respect. So, for being a leader, we should have self-respect, and that is important to maintain the leadership. Krishna forgave 100 abuses of Shishupal in Indraprastha as per the commitment to give to his aunt, but thereafter punished him before the many kings. Great leaders caution timely to their friends. We should always caution to the friends if there is any danger, and we should become the good advisor if we want to become the leader. So, learning is to protect your friend and give them proper advice. Krishna foresaw the problem and advised Pandava to be careful from Duryodhana after Draupadi insulted Duryodhana by saying blind son of blind father. Krishna very well knew that insult before others leads to quarrel, disputes and even war. Great leaders know others' weakness and give advice to their friends. Great leaders, they knew others' weakness, so also of their friends and foes. They take suitable and impart advice to their friends for overcoming their weaknesses. So, for being a leader, we should overcome our weakness and never expose it. Krishna cautioned Yudhishthira, knowing his weakness of gambling. His advice could prevent probably Mahabharata, but in his absence he took part and lost his empire. Great leaders help those who approach them for help. Therefore, learning is that we should help those who approach us for being a leader. But looking to the intentions of the help seekers, we should give the help. When nobody helped Draupadi, Krishna helped her when she was helpless before her own relatives. Arjun asked help from him before Mahabharata war. He helped him by taking his side. He also helped Duryodhana by giving his army when he approached him, though he had tried to arrest him in the past in Hastinapur. Great leaders do not waste resources. They know very well the importance of the resources, hence do not waste them. So important to become leader is that never waste the resources. Krishna asked Draupadi to give him food when she remembered him to provide food to Rishi Durvasa and his disciples. Krishna ate one grain left in Akshay Patra, which satisfied his hunger as well as of others. Therefore, he showed that the importance of even one grain of rice is, and then importance of the resources. Great leaders believe in avoiding disputes and do not initiate fights. They know the outcome of the quarrels, fights and wars, hence avoid them. So learning is that we should never initiate fight but always remain prepared for all eventualities. Krishna tried to mediate between Pandav and Kaurav and went to Hastinapur risking his life. He tried to take even 5 villages on behalf of Pandav, but when Duryodhana tried to arrest him, he showed a glimpse of his strength. Great leaders are not always visionary only, but the strategist and also great planners. So, important is that we should know theory and we should also know how to implement it to become good planners and executors. We know that Krishna suggested Pandavas the name of Dhrishtadyumna as commander of their army, as he knew that he himself will be able to take on to Dronacharya in future, because he insulted Draupadi's father, and his brother Shikhandi will be able to take on to Bhishma, and his father Drupad will be able to take to Kaurav because they insulted him, or to his daughter. Great leaders are great motivators. They motivate their followers in all the situations. Learn the theory of motivation, practice it and re-practice it, because motivation is the key of success to make the followers. Krishna motivated many, but most important was that he motivated Arjun by giving discourse known as Bhagavad Gita. Great leaders do not let down their followers. So learning is that never let down your friends and followers if you want to become the leader. Krishna had decided to remain unarmed during Mahabharata, but when Bhishma took vow for forcing Krishna to take weapon, he broke his promise and took veil to protect Arjun and keep vow intact of Bhishma, who was his follower. So a leader works for his followers even at its cost. Great leaders never curse their followers. Important is that to become leader, we should never curse anybody and never retaliate for the curse. We should respect others, elders, even everybody. When Gandhari gave curse to Krishna after Mahabharata, he accepted, though he narrated his efforts of mediation between Pandav and Kaurav. And then when she knew it, then even after that, she told she was really and she told to Krishna that he should not accept the curse, but he gracefully accepted it, and then he told Pandavas to treat Gandhari as their mother. Great leaders believe in love and not in hatred. So important is that to become leader, we should believe in love and not hatred. Hatred always harm. Krishna preferred love and devotion over disputes and quarrels and gave teachings of love and affection to Uddhav, which are compiled in the form of Uddhav Gita. Great leaders believe in doing their work. Great leaders are strong believers of karma or action. They do not believe in delays, do not sit over the problems, and are not lazy and respect the time and timely action. So to become the leader, we should respect the time and do our actions on time. Lord Krishna gave discourse on karma, that is performing our prescribed actions, that is duty, without any desire on the result, as the result is not in our hands. It may or may not be in favor, but he told that we should remain equipoise in all the situations. Krishna, therefore, was the leader of leaders. We know Yudhishthira, Arjun, Bhim, Duryodhan, Bhishma, Dronachar, Kripachar, Karna, Drupad, Drishtadyumna, Jarasandha, Kans, Balaram, and Saul were great leaders of that period, but Krishna proved be the leader of those leaders. So Lord Krishna was the leader of the leaders, and the leaders of that period unanimously accepted it, whether fought from his side or as opponents. So when great leaders are there, people accept, even their followers and opponents, they accept them as the great leader. Krishna became God as he served to others. So important is that you are great leader if your followers, friends, and opponents accept you as a leader. Many times kingmakers are remembered as great leaders, though they are not the kings. The leaders who work for the welfare of their nation and the society particularly in general become great leaders. So in the last, probably, I think that great leaders are born. Whether great leaders are born or made, this remains a question, and this is asked frequently. But then leadership is taught in many institutes and universities, but all are not great leaders. Mostly great leaders are not the alumni of management institutions. So leaders might be made, but great leaders are born. So important is that do not take tension. If you are not a great leader, you are born for something else then. Even if we are taught management, you may not be a great leader, but still a leader in your group. Lord Krishna never read management, but was born as a great leader. Thanks for attending. I am K M Soni, ADG retired from CPWD.